And why would they fly or project such a craft near me for me to see and get the details on? Think about that. It's another mystery. I am Anthony Giarrusso. I have been an author, a publisher, a security officer, an automotive sales professional, postal worker, and even a theme park rides operator. All of these career fields have one major thing in common: attention to detail. And today, I'm going to be sharing with you a strange paranormal experience that happened to me on 8/21/2015. And it's so wonderful that you have actually been able to find this video. I want you to go and watch some of my other videos that I have made. And you can even find my book, Wonders of Anthony Giarrusso, on www.lulu.com and even Amazon.com as well. So back in August of 2015, I was out for a walk. I was walking around my nearby neighborhood, and to describe my neighborhood a little bit, it's mostly houses that are very similar to each other on very small properties. It's very gridded, meaning that you'll have two houses with two backyards back to back all along a single row on two different streets, but the streets are literally parallel. So it literally looks, if you've ever used grid paper for math class, that's kind of like how the communities and how the houses are kind of set up. And every blue line on the grid paper is literally like a new road. And if you think of every square as a block filled with houses, that's pretty much exactly what it looks like around here. Anyway, this happened between the hours of 8 p.m. and 10 p.m. and I usually go walking around that time. I'm usually out for about 2 hours. Sometimes I'm out for 3 hours. Sometimes I'm out for a little bit less than 2 hours, depending. Okay? So I walk, and I'm getting my exercise, and I've walked maybe, I think I was outside for at least about a half an hour minimum. I think I was out there for a little bit longer. Could have been 45 minutes to an hour, but I was out there for at least a half an hour minimum. And I'm about 3/4 of the way walking down this one particular road that's near my house. It's not the same street that my house is on, because remember, it's like a grid, so there's all different roads nearby. And I notice towards my left, kind of upcoming forward from me, this thing is flying literally towards me, but it's kind of like off center. So I'm walking on the street and I see something. It's coming from the east, heading west, and I'm looking east. And I see it. I thought it was a plane at first, but it looked a little small. By the time it flew near me, it was actually flying over the backyards of the houses. And remember, the houses, they're literally like back to back and they're small properties. So the two houses are literally have their backyards like right next to each other. It was flying maybe about 40 to 50 feet up in the air. It looked a lot like a drone. There were no windows on it. The front of it was a little bit pointy, but almost like a cone. But it wasn't like very elongated. It was kind of like a shorter cone. So if you think of like a construction cone, that would be too pointy. It would have been a bit shorter than that. It had two fixed wings like an airplane. Very narrow body. It had a tail fin. It had two rudder fins on each side, just like it had two wings. And then the rear, literally as soon as it flew past me, it looked, or at least reminded me of, the rear of a F-5 fighter jet. And on an F-5 fighter jet, you would see at the rear end of the aircraft two afterburners that are really, really close together. Whereas on most other fighter jets, they'll have their two afterburners further apart, or they would only have one. And this had them really close together. Now it looked like the shape of afterburners, but whatever this drone-like thing was, it didn't have anything that looked like heat coming off of it at all. The color of the craft was dark navy blue, and it looked like it had a matte finish to it. And when it flew by, it actually sounded like a whining noise similar to an electric motor. Now, I did not see any electric propellers on this craft at all. I want to make that clear. And the wings literally reminded me closest to what a glider plane would have, with no engines on it at all. And there was nothing at the front of this. There was no propeller on the front. Very unusual. I would estimate the wingspan to be about 24 feet, because I'm about 6 feet tall, and it looked like the wingspan was about 4 times my height. The length was a little bit longer than the wingspan, but not by much. Where on a commercial jet, the wings or the wingspan usually looks shorter because of how wide the cylinder is where the passengers are. Whereas on a glider plane, it's very narrow in the middle, and that's what this particular drone-like object looked like. So you might say, Anthony, this just sounds like you saw a strange drone fly by. Well, that's what I thought until this happened. After it flown past me, I was continuing to watch it, and at the rear end of this unusual looking like drone, a white light started literally from the tail. It started to grow in size, almost like a sphere of light, going around the wingtips and the front as this UFO was flying forward. So think of that. And after the whole aircraft or UFO or whatever this thing was got completely surrounded by this sphere of light, and this light kind of almost had like a staticky look to it. Almost kind of like lightning, but in a much slower motion. And after, it was engulfed in this white light. The white light literally turned off, almost as if it was like a lamplight turning on and turning off. And when it turned off, the whole aircraft either became invisible, like it was some kind of optical camouflage, or just completely disappeared into thin air. I also wonder if maybe if this was some kind of projection from another aircraft, maybe this was regular technology that we have, but why would this specific event take place specifically over the general area nearby where I lived at that specific time? And why would they fly or project such a craft near me for me to see and get the details on? Think about that. It's another mystery. I'm aware that there are technologies that we have as humans today that can project solid images and can trick our eyes into seeing solid images. The question is, how good is their technology, and was this even something that I even saw? Something I also need you to know is that this thing wasn't flying that fast. Faster than a bird, but slower than really any propeller plane that I've ever seen. So it was actually not going very quickly. And it was flying in a straight line. I never saw the thing corner. And when I saw this drone type UFO appear, it just appeared as if it had been flying for a while, like any other aircraft. It's just when it disappeared, that was the strange event that makes it a UFO sighting. Again, I am Anthony Giarrusso. Thank you for watching. I greatly appreciate it. You may rewatch this video, have your friends sit down and check out this video, tell your family. I am Anthony Giarrusso. Rewatch this video, share, link, subscribe, like.